On show 2. The German session over after just 15 minutes following this crash at Saint-Devote.
Locked up into one. Okay, front left's gone. Sorry for that.
And Vettel's incident was double trouble for Ferrari, while Robert Kubica also had a brush with the barrier, spinning his Williams on the exit of Casino Square.
I come back, I damage front wing.
Yeah, copy that, Robert.
It, and then that goes straight through the carcass of the tire there, this spin, and that's when the tire gets punctured, and that's when you'll see the sparks fly there. So just trying to exit pit lane in the quickest way possible there was Colton Herta, pushing a little bit too hard. Lucky for him, though, not to put it into the wall.
And not to spin in front of somebody coming off a two.
Yeah.
Came down on all fours. Let's watch it slowly.
So again, very similar, except again doesn't get the same rotation as Felix Rosenqvist, and I think this angle of attack is definitely worse than the one that Felix Rosenqvist had, and look at how close he is to flipping over. And you see, if we can go back to that slow-mo shot there again and pause it while he's fully up in the air, we can show you what IndyCar's done from a technological perspective to prevent these things from falling over. But you see, trying to save it here. And that's just a vicious, look at how far forward his head goes. Oh boy. And you can just see immediately hands come off the steering wheel as soon as he knows he's in trouble. View. So here's the first one. So see him getting airborne right here. So let's pause it right here. So you notice these two little holes right here in the underside of the body. That was originally enclosed on the old body kit of this current Indy car, and basically created a huge surface area underneath the car that would essentially make it take off. But these little pockets right here help take off some of that pressure that's generated on the car, and essentially removes the risk of them going airborne quite so much. And if we can have another look of the previous shot we had, the most worrying thing from a car perspective I'm seeing here with the crash of Pato O'Ward is that frontal impact. Oh. Man, that's a big impact. It's up off the ground, into the wall. Oh, and straight into the inside wall there.
And you know what? The actual impact, the first impact wasn't bad.
No,
just the right rear.
But it's enough when you have that sort of impact, as we're getting another perspective here. It's enough, and you see right away, so it breaks both the right front and the right rear wheels straight off the car. So at that point, you have no control over the car whatsoever, and all you can do is take your hands off the wheel.
Jake Query in here as well with Anders Krohn, Robin Miller, as we watch this incident with Fernando Alonso happening in turn number 3. This is the north end of the speedway. And Anders, when you watch it, take me through here in the fact that, you know, he gets a little bit high and it just looked like not able to make the completion, obviously, of that turn. The contact not too severe on the outside, but then, of course, you're a passenger, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Nothing that he could do from the point of initial contact there. And I think the other thing that I'm looking at is he was directly in the wheel tracks of Graham Rahal. Graham, as we've seen, has had a tendency to run a bit high off the corners, and I think he was probably expecting that Rahal would be a little bit lower so that Alonso would get slightly more clean air on his wings. But as you can see, Graham Rahal already tracking pretty high here, so Fernando Alonso directly in his wheel tracks picking up that turbulent air, from Graham Rahal. So basically at no point through that corner did he ever have clean air on his front wings. And obviously here you can see right rear, right front completely broken.
Now look at that front right, Anders. When you look there and you see Fernando Alonso with everything that goes in once that impact took place, as well as you see there on the right rear, that's where the tires are tethered together to the car. You saw one of them wanting to come loose. This is a critical piece of what for years has been an effort to make sure that those tires stay attached to the chassis of that machine, because the last thing you want, obviously, is anything of that substance, that sort of a weight coming free to endanger other drivers.
James Hinchcliffe in his hands here. So far through turn 1 looks pretty good.
How many of you qualifying runs have you
Oh!
Hinchcliffe with a big one!
Big one. Up on its side, he lost it at the apex of turn 2. It went loose and it went around, and this is bad news for tomorrow unless they've got a spare car ready to go.
We have seen numerous big
Race, and here it just snaps loose. He was up high on the track, way up off the white line there, and it just pancakes the wall on the outside. Just a dead flat hit, and it comes up on its side. It doesn't go over. We see with these openings in the bottom of the tunnel, but right here it just snaps. Boom, flat pancake on the wall, and then it doesn't go over all the way because of that safety innovation with the holes in the floor. Look at this, Townsend. Watch it go.
Yeah, he's just high, and he's adding steering because he's going to struggle to make the apex, and that's a violent hit.
That is very similar to Pato O'Ward's that he suffered earlier in the week on Thursday. It's also similar to Kyle Kaiser, where the car gets up and it goes sideways, but it does not go over. And that's a credit to Dallara. Talking about a young Californian who'd been just outside the top 10 in the no-toe. Oh, that's very similar to Pato O'Ward.
Yeah, he was down low, it looked like, down pretty low, below the white line, and that thing just snapped out from underneath of him, and a hard side impact pancaked the wall. Really goes over. You see again, he's down right on that white line, Towns. He's well below it.
Well, but he wasn't on the concrete patch. He just got loose, and man, I hate to see that.
Oh,
that one didn't work.
It didn't work at all. Charles Leclerc's gone for it again. This time he tangles with the Renault.
The Ferrari spun by itself. I don't know if he's tapped the barrier on the inside. He hit the barrier with his right rear.
We have a puncture.
Oh dear, and he's now shredding the tyre to pieces and possibly causing a lot of damage, Charles Leclerc.
He's ripping his own floor apart. You have to come back slowly. He's angry, he's frustrated, he's dissecting his own car. It's got to be almost walking pace.
Now we have got a car park at Raskas. George Russell, Nico Hülkenberg can get past, Robert Kubica can get past. Kubica and Leclerc are kind of stuck there, and this is blocking the track. Double waved yellows. Russell gets going, Leclerc gets ahead of Giovinazzi. But what caused this? Let's have a little look now. Down the inside goes Giovinazzi and spins George Russell round. Perez get caught up as well. Here goes Verstappen down the inside on Lewis Hamilton. They make contact. Hamilton has to cut the chicane. Verstappen does as well. There was definite contact there as Verstappen sent one into the chicane to try and get past.
Yeah, just turns in. I'm trying to overtake.
Oh, Kyle Kaiser loses it. Probably coming out of the pits, it looks like it damages the front.
This is the Juncos Chevrolet. This was the fairy tale story of qualifying. This is the young Californian who bounced and bumped Fernando Alonso out of the Indy 500. The car was sponsorless before that effort, and now it has so many, but this fairy tale has come to an end.
Yeah, he was just way up high, up in the dirty part of the track. He was lucky that he didn't just push right out into the wall, but he lost it, had it straightened out almost like a Danny Sullivan, a spin and win, but then he got away from him and it went up the track and hit the outside of turn 2 wall.
And look at Will Power with the best view of the accident, just pedals the car out. That's right at the entrance, I think, to turn 2. I think that happened in the short shoot between turns 1 and 2. Let's watch it again. luckily, he bled a lot of speed off in the slide and the spin before he finally impacted the wall. Kyle Kaiser up and out of his car, assisted by the AMR safety.
On that run to this guy, Alexander Rossi, said he needs to be a little bit better through traffic. On a spin on pit road.
Marcus Ericsson.
Marcus Ericsson on pit road. Rossi finishing up his stop here for Fresh Firestone tires. And a problem for Rossi. They are having a problem here on pit road. They cannot get the fuel to plug in. Remember earlier they had to double clutch it when the fuel got plugged in. They have two guys trying to plug the fuel in. Alexander Rossi slamming his fist against the steering wheel. That was a 23-second stop, and they had just
and a yellow flag flies. A yellow flag comes out as well.
I don't think I have ever seen Rossi flip out like that. This is what happened to Ericsson, the rookie, the lead rookie.
Locked it up. Wow. On the brakes, on the downshift, hit the nose and the rear wing. So that's a lot of damage right there. Comes sailing in here, and you just see on those downshifts, the car's light, got no downforce, and it locks the rears when you do the downshift. Let's watch this with the
move for the lead. Alexander Rossi takes the Napa Auto Parts Honda to the lead.
Pagenaud now needs to now save fuel. He can't let Rossi go. Oh, we got a crash. And that is what Pagenaud needed when he was in the lead.
Sebastian Bourdais is in it. Sebastian Bourdais, Felix Rosenquist, Zach Veach, Charlie Kimball. This is huge.
Pagenaud needed that to happen about 5 seconds beforehand.
Will Power tiptoeing through. What has happened here? This is an ugly scene with 23 laps to go.
Dixon just hopped out of his car.
Graham Rahal.
Not sure if he's mad or concerned.
Car's not too badly damaged there.
Oh, and Rahal is furious. He had a strong car. He was well inside the top 10.
See this so many times here. 23 laps to go. The urgency grows. People need to make moves happen before the
Got a car coming out of the pits. He gets a run, gets down the inside, and he's just, they touch wheels and they touch. So he was obviously upset with Sebastian Bourdais that he turned in on him when he was there.
He hasn't even stopped yet. He's trying to discuss.
That wasn't a nice gesture slap on the head. That was a slap on the head. Hey, I'm mad at you.
Well, Rahal was about a quarter of the way up, and you can argue it both ways. Bourdais could have left him room. Graham could have backed out, but they're going for the Indy 500 win.
Oh, he's hot. That was no, hey, are you okay? Watch this.
At this point, Bourdais like, I'm just going to stay right here.
I've been that guy before.
I've been both too.
Didn't quite get to the level of Clint Boyer and Ryan Newman.
Yeah, just two guys going for the same piece of road. They touch on the entry there. Bourdais holding his line, and Graham got it in there, and Bourdais turned in. He's in the grass.
I don't know if Bourdais holding his line as much as is kind of giving him a little bit of the squeeze going down the back straightaway.
Folks, remember that this is over 220 miles an hour.
And look at Bourdais, tries to catch the slide, but it's too late. Car's gone, and at this point, Graham's up in the dirt and can't see anything in the tire smoke.
And then the guys in the back in that tire smoke, you can't see. Look at all these guys. They're all hard.
That was Rosenquist just flat lost it.
Yeah, hard on the brakes. You can't see, and you're on the brakes, and the rear end comes out from you. Those guys are just trying to lock it down and trying not to hit anything.
Look at Hunter-Reay trying to, just avoid Kimball.
Speaking of Ryan Hunter-Reay, I bet you we've got an onboard of that. Here's a different angle. Oh, look at Bourdais' car climb. Beaches into the wall. Andretti gets through. Dixon gets through. Kimball doesn't. Rosenquist doesn't. Harvey does. Servia does. View from Jack Harvey.
Outside. Yellow. Go low here. Low.
Good job, buddy. Good job. Look at Ferrucci. Fast by Ferrucci goes sailing through the grass.
There you go. Good job, buddy. Good job, Jack.
Veach and Rosenquist came on way too hot. Look at this. Oh, it was a big hit for Zach Veach. Massive rear impact.
Ferrucci threaded the needle and then cut through the grass into the wind of the warm-up lane and avoided all of that.
And we were on our way to a record finish. The previous record, 26 cars finished in the Indy 500. There were still 30 on track, but a lot of cars out in this accident.
What this is going to do now, no more fuel issues for Pagenaud. He's going to be able to go flat out now, so we'll see if he can get back by Rossi, because now with this yellow, it's going to take a little while to clean up. And we've just got word it's gone red, and that is really
right now, Mike. It is Eric Jones from Joe Gibbs Racing, one of those 4 cars that dominated final practice. His Toyota was running in 12th place, heavy damage on the right side for the Michigan native. We'll have a look at it off in the distance coming into turn 4.
This kid's high.
Certainly, right front tire went down.
It definitely looked like he just shot up the hill, like something definitely happened to it.
By heavy damage, just flattened the right side of that car.
Eric Jones is at lap 48 for the second time today.
I don't know if a right front went down first, but he has a right front tire that's definitely down here. I don't know if that's before or after contact.
He was running 19th for Levine Family Racing. There's DiBenedetto coming down the front straightaway.
I'm with you, Daryl, just trying to see if he had made any contact, but clearly a right front tire down similar to Eric Jones. And, you know, there is an alliance between Joe Gibbs Racing and this 95 team.
That's specialist Danny Dessens on the windshield of Matt DiBenedetto's car. Lost his life at age 20 in Iraq for this race. Martin Truex has been in the wall hard.
Yeah, it sounded like a right front tire. Maybe, I'm not sure. It sounded like he said it went down. It just went down.
Now, we've had cautions 20 laps, 20 laps, and 20 laps of green flag. I don't know if this was a tire issue, but if it is, those Toyotas had some kind of an issue.
Guys, I don't know what happened. It just took off straight. Had to run something over or something, I guess. I don't know. I was turning really good.
Wow. It's so late off the corner. It's kind of hard. It looks like, you know, he just goes.
Stenhouse around. Perhaps off the nose of Kyle Busch.
Through the synthetic turf he goes without any incident. I just can't say enough about what
Stenhouse was 7th.
What they've done here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Mike, with that synthetic turf.
Yeah, we've seen that rip the front splitters off of these cars when they go through the old grass. Yeah, just a big run from Kyle Busch. He gets really loose. Actually, I think he tried to stay away from the rear bumper of the 17, but he's carrying so much momentum. Makes contact, spins Ricky Stenhouse Jr. right around.
Looked like 17 may have checked up a little bit, and Kyle had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and remember, that's old tires. Stenhouse Jr. had stayed out that last caution. 18 of Kyle Busch put new, fresh Goodyears on his car.
I just love that. I just love that you can go through that turf and not tear anything up and stay in the race, because we've never seen that before.
No, it's always been natural grass, and that front splitter side off 4.
Oh, he's gonna get turned.
One car got turned into the wall coming off 4, and that was Hemrick.
And that's the risk that you take when you're on those older tires. All these other guys have new tires. You can get yourself in trouble, just like Daniel Hemrick did right there.
That's a shame.
Oh, what a bummer. He and that turn 4 wall have not been friends this week.
No, they
Very similar thing happened with him in the All-Star
Open race, yeah.
Now he was floating back through the field in the middle. Again, cars with fresh tires behind him. Truex outside. That's Ryan Blaney, the 12 inside. Here comes Kurt Busch right up behind him.
You can see he's just trying to hold on right there. They get 4 wide. He tries to give the one of Kurt Busch some room, but unfortunately on the outside of him was the 14 of Clint Boyer.
I think he tried to squeeze in front of the 14 and there just wasn't enough room.
No, not at all.
Let's ride with Bubba Wallace, our Coca-Cola Orange Vanilla can.
And you saw Joey Logano was all the way almost down on the apron to make it 4 wide. He just tried to take advantage of that momentum, those cars moving backwards.
Clear.
Boy, Brian Preece.
Boy, Preece and
taking right with them. And there's the
Chris
issue with Buescher.
And that will be a caution at lap 127. Chris Buescher up in turn number 4.
Looks like a right front again, Mike. I'm not sure, but the right front is soft.
He scraped the wall earlier, and they just rode it.
hoping to get to a caution flag and hoping it wouldn't be him.
You see there, the car just starts up and just goes. Probably from possibly the damage from hitting the wall earlier.
No, save enough fuel. Oh,
Hamlin in the
another
wall.
Toyota. Is this a tire issue again?
Certainly has that look.
That is 3 of the 5 Toyotas in the race that have been in the wall.
So far, no caution.
Here it is.
There it is.
Caution's out in.
Lap 161, 8th caution.
Into turn 1. I feel like we're going to see something we've seen more of already tonight, and that's it. It just, the right front tire goes down on the inner liner and into the wall. He didn't get in the wall bad, so I think like the 19. Oh, we got an issue with Ryan Preece, right front tire.
And Ryan Preece's Kroger car has been in the fence.
Remember, his teammate has the 37 car as well.
Yeah, if Ryan Preece made any contact.
The rookie was in 26th place. A week from Wednesday, he's back in his modified up at Thompson, Connecticut for a race, but
you can see the right front
tire.
tire.
Right front is down already. Ooh, wow. Now, we had just talked about how tight these cars are on the exit, and that's a perfect example of it. You could see Mark Truex Jr. playing with the throttle, trying to keep the nose underneath him from sliding up the racetrack, but he couldn't do it. He got into the 52. That was all on Mark Truex Jr.
Wow.
11th caution flag.
Hard impact.
Comes at lap 250.
I just can't believe how little front grip. Oh, boy. Oh, the one car goes around.
And he saves it. No.
Oh, no, right
Oh, my gosh.
How did Harvick miss him?
Unbelievable.
Unreal is right.
Look at that. Just
peeled that left front fender.
Yeah,
right?
peeled the fender right off of it. Man, it doesn't look like much other damage. Uh-oh. Got something hanging out May 18.
That was 5th place, Kurt Busch.
All right, Kurt Busch was 5th. This will be my fault for bragging on it, but here is Kurt Busch's wild ride.
Let's see what happens here.
When you get more aggressive in these later stages,
oh, she just gets
got
loose. Yeah, she just gets loose. Kyle got a little bit of that.
And he started getting the throttle because he was going to try to go the outside. Luckily, at the last second, he chose the right decision, which was to slow down and turn left.
Now Kurt Busch has some splitter damage there. There goes Harvick around. But Kyle Busch, one of the strongest cars all night, may have some damage from this dust up with his older brother.
Yeah, he almost.
Backstretch.
Oh,
and hard in the wall goes Austin Dillon and Kyle Larson.
Something was wrong with that 42 car. Oh my gosh.
They're still wrecking.
Both Dillon brothers are in it.
Well, I wonder, did that 42 make contact with somebody, maybe cut a tire down?
Something was going on with the 42, Jeff. He was something that I'm not sure what was going on, but something happened to it.
Right, Darrell, just when he first went in
really hard.
And so he's just getting loose.
Ooh.
Right here as the 14
that
goes to his outside. It looked to me like Kyle Larson at that point as he went in the corner. Man,
heavy impact.
Yeah, the 3 of Austin Dillon really.
Something went on with the 42. I can't quite figure out what it was, but something was going on with the 42.
And then Larson comes up, collects Ty Dillon and Ryan Preece.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate for Ty Dillon. Front suspension obviously broken on the 42 after that.
Probably no brakes.
He just gets real loose as the 14 goes by him on the outside.
Gosh.
Oh.
Well, let's take a close look at the 14, Clint Boyer, up top, right of your screen.
You can already see the 42s having some issues going up the racetrack. Yeah. 22 and the 88, Bowman and Logano are actually having a little battle there too.
I just believe that the 42 got up. I don't think the 14 came down so much as the 42 was going up.
Absolutely.
And got into the 14.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now here's where Austin Dillon gets collected.
Huge.
That was a big hit.
Huge.
Two hits. All right, the last second you hear Austin Dillon getting the throttle, hoping he could squeeze by.
This is big right here. Yikes.
Wow.
And then the 42, I don't think he had any brakes right here, and he just went up and caught the 13 and got him into the 47.
Well, let's ride with Preece. Trying to get around this on the outside.
Down, back it down, back it down. Stay towards the top there.
He didn't see that coming at all. I just wonder if that incident between the 22 Logano and the 88 of Bowman, if that had anything to do with disturbing the air further back on the 42 and the 14. That may. We've already seen this team on these long runs.
Right front down.
Some trouble with the right front. I just wonder, is that going to save the 19 of Mark Truex Jr., who's also shown that same issue earlier in this race? That's going to bring out the caution.
Hamlin was 6th, and he brings out, I believe this is the 14th caution flag.
That is the second time that Kevin Harvick has been burnt, pitting, and the caution coming out about 2 laps later.
Nothing.
Racing.
And you can just see, Mike, the tire just, they don't blow out. It's not like they just blow out and the car turns dead right. They just, it's like the air comes out and it just goes up the hill and it's on the inner liner.
And he never really even touched the wall.
So Blaney will surrender third place.
Car.
And there's his teammate Keselowski in big trouble.
I think.
He's got a broken track bar. I can see his rear end housing moving from side to side.
Caution.
So Blaney shoots through and should stay on the lead lap.
Wow, man, all at once. The 12's in trouble, the 2's in trouble. And guess what? The 19 might be in trouble.
And you can see here the 2 car made contact with the wall. That's probably what cut his rear tire.
I thought I could see the rear end housing moving.
15th caution of the night.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that right rear tire is down, so might not be a similar issue as the 12 car.
Around he went into the inside retaining wall.